This has been a wonderful week. First for Zulu Matrix, and now for this, the luckiest chestnut in my forest. Today was a very strange day. Many strange things happened, and this is not the least of them. In fact, this is the best of them. Sorry about that. A logging operation happened here today, getting rid of more of these red pines that are right on the edge of this chestnut grove. And you may have seen a video a few months ago where one of the red pines on the southern edge of this opening fell straight in this direction and just narrowly missed crushing this tree. It was just a few feet short. Well, it happened again today, here on the northern edge of the same opening, except it was on the western edge where my good friend Jeff, the sawyer that does all of my sawing, but not of that sort. Anyways, it doesn't matter. If you don't know what a sawyer is, look it up. He's a sawyer. And so we took down a red pine, and this is the top of it right here, a monster. And when that came down, it knocked down this maple, this red maple, swamp maple, a weed in this forest. And I've already, when that happened, as we watched this red pine fall, and I saw it knock down this red maple, the red pine and the red maple, my heart sunk, because I knew that the way that this was falling, with my luck, it was going to hit this beautiful chestnut. And it did. But thank goodness it only got thrashed by the top, these branches that I have pruned away here. They were all pointing in this direction. In fact, here we can see some of the evidence. And so it thrashed this very fortunate chestnut, because all it did was sort of disturb the setup that I had here for it. And thankfully it didn't damage the tree. Some of the leaves got a little beaten up, but not nearly as much as they do by the Japanese beetles. And the deer, there was protection here, and the deer thwarted it, and they've been chewing at these branches. But this is at the lower growth. The top part was too high, but it was so high that it got struck by this maple when it fell. And when I saw all of this happen, I just knew with my luck that this tree got hit. So I came running over here, and I saw indeed, it didn't look like it does now because it was all filled up with the branches of the maple, but I could see by this piece of aluminum here that it got disturbed. So I had my cutters in my pocket. Oh, these are different pants. I changed my pants. I should have my cutters in my pocket. Brother, can you spare some cutter? And I made a song in my head about that line, brother, can you spare some cutter, the other day while I was on my bike ride, and I haven't yet decided if I'm actually going to record it. It's actually pretty cool. Anyways, so I got busy and I cleaned all this up, and I was so relieved to see that this chestnut was not destroyed, except by the deer, but that's just down here. But then, to my amazement, I couldn't believe my eyes. What did I see? Catkins. This tree is way too small to have catkins. This is such phenomenal news. This is the smallest, youngest American chestnut I've ever seen with catkins. This is a tree that wants to reproduce. It wants to do that gene swapping to help fight the blight. This is such a special tree, and I believe that this was fate. All of it, including this red pine knocking over the red maple that smacked this beautiful, lucky chestnut. This chestnut has 9 lives because it's used up 2 of them in the last few months. So there you have it. I officially am dubbing this tenacious chestnut tree Morris with 9 lives. It's so incredibly exciting to see these catkins. This is just, and there are so many. Look here and all the way up to the top. It's filled with catkins. Okay, so I brought all this stuff here so that I can fix this up now, because thank goodness that the tree wasn't horribly damaged, but I do need to fix this stuff up here to help it stand straight again, because unfortunately, getting whacked, it doesn't really want to stand straight now, but it'll regain its strength in no time. But it needs some help for now, and I had to do it immediately. It's getting late in the day, and it's been a long day with all of the lumberjack nonsense that I've been doing. But I needed to do this before the evening, before the deer come through, because now it would all be right at their mouth level and it would all be destroyed. And that's the other thing, is that all of this if all of this would not have happened, then the chances are almost 0 that I would have seen these catkins, because it would have been up in the sky, because there's none down low. And I did not consider this to be a contender for catkins. It just, to me, it was too young and too small. It's shocking. And there are so many other chestnut trees that I thought needed attention far more than this one, including that one that's right at the edge of the shot there with the tubing. It grew out the top of the tubing, and of course, as soon as it sticks out the top, the deer will eat it as they walk past, because they love to destroy. So anyways, I have to stand up Morris so that when those rotten, miserable deer come past, he'll be too tall. And they won't be able to get to the catkins. Oh, that's just so amazing. I still can't get over it. Catkins. Catkins, I say. This is just to get it standing while I put in another stake that I just brought. To get some more support up higher for these beautiful catkins. I still can't get over it. Just beautiful, beautiful. Do you hear me? I guess I don't need this tape anymore, although there is still going to be one more day of logging here, so perhaps I still need it. Just to let everybody see how special this tree is. With the beautiful catkins. Oh, I can't look at these enough. I can't admire them enough. It's so incredible. So there you have it. The luckiest and most tenacious chestnut tree in my forest, with the earliest ever catkins, years ahead of anyone else. Unfortunately, there's no other chestnut trees in this area of the forest that are anywhere near ready to produce catkins yet. It's not too far to ones that are definitely going to have catkins next year, but definitely nothing will happen this year. But it tends to be with a chestnut that the first year that it produces catkins, it's kind of a trial run. Nothing would come of it, even if there were others around to cross-pollinate with. It's similar to what happens with fruit trees. Especially, for example, I'm pointing at persimmons, where last year so many trees were producing their blossoms for the first time, and only one of them produced fruit. The rest of them did not. This year, hopefully there will be more, because it's not their first year making blossoms anymore. And it's the same with this. It's the first year. Think of catkins as just being a string of blossoms, because that's really what it is. So, because it's the first year, it probably wouldn't have led to anything anyways, even if they could have crossed with something else. But fingers crossed that next year, those big ones that have already produced in years prior, they just haven't in the last 2 years, but those trees are so big now that I can't imagine that they won't finally produce them again next year. We had a strange spring this year. It was late and cold. In fact, here we are in the middle of June, and it's not that warm. It's only in the mid-20s. So it maybe is no wonder that they didn't produce catkins, simply because it was such a unpleasant spring. So hopefully next year we'll have a nice warm spring, and then Morris will be able to cross with those unnamed ones over there. There's 2 big beauties over there just down the driveway. Right beside the trailer that has the logs on it. We weren't able to finish today because the tractor broke down. Friday the 13th. And so tomorrow the logging will resume. And there's no worries about Morris. I am still so overjoyed. First Zulu Matrix, now this. Beautiful. 2 days in a row. Amazing. Okay, I've got to get on to other chores before it gets dark. Oh, that baby sledge was on top of the ladder. A baby's arm holding a hammer.